I think Pisces should be doing really well right about now, because it looks like a certain situation has ended. The situation has ended. Some of you know this. It's like the breakthrough has happened and you know it. And the world just maybe looks different for you now, as there's sort of diamonds sparkling in the air for you right now. Some of you have had this breakthrough, and it feels like it's been coming for a long time. It was very deep. There's a fundamental healing in this situation that now that it has ended because of the breakthrough for you on a soul level is what it feels like. And she's taking a bow. Take a bow. So they're pointing that out now. It's like, take a bow. This was not an easy situation for many of you. If this resonates, with you. And sometimes we just need to hear that it's ended. So it might be that you know this. It might be that you've had the breakthrough, but it's really helpful to have sort of someone else say, you know what, it's ended, it's over. It is over, in fact. And you're finally free of this situation. So now new opportunities for happiness will follow. Put the past behind you. You can put the past behind you. Take a bow. Turn the page. The show's over. Show's over. Done. The situation has ended. I love that. That's your first card. If that resonates and you've been having a hard time for a while, it's over. Let it go. Now, for some people, for some of you, it can feel like you know this on an intellectual level. And so they really want you to hear this. It has ended. Energetically, you are now a different person. If you haven't had your breakthrough yet, Pisces, you will. It looks like that, you know, this could be coming up for you in November, that the situation will end. Because there's going to be a breakthrough for you. Spirit is helping. There's a lot of dynamics. So notice different synchronicities, different people that you run into, situations that happen. It's like help is available for you to have this breakthrough. For some of you, you've already had it and you know that it's over. It just feels like it's over. And yet it's really nice to have confirmation that, yep, it's over. It's ended. Take a bow, turn the page. Sometimes, for some of you, depending on where you are, right? Depending on where you are with that, it could be that you feel the ending, you know it's ended, you have a breakthrough, and then you start, you know, with whatever's next. And then you may have doubts about, okay, wait, is it really over? Like, can I really just relax and know that that's over? And by focusing on that, then you can, it just sort of continues to stay with you because it's coming through your thoughts. That is what keeps it sort of with you. And so they're saying, no, like seriously, let it go. Come watch it. Come back and watch this video again if you need to. It has ended. Let it go. So really just get your focus on what's next for you. What would you like to create next? What's next? So the next card that you get is to stay determined to move forward. See, this is what's speaking to those who have a breakthrough and start moving forward, but then doubt that this might come back, or is this really over, or is this other person gonna cause trouble again? You know, whatever the situation was, if it was some kind of a relationship situation where the other person, there might be some fears around, they might come back. You know, let it go. So this one is saying stay determined in keeping your focus on you and what you're doing next. Do not give this any energy. No focus, no energy. It's ended. It's over. The show's over. So this is inviting you to just stay determined for what's next. For some of you, it might be environmental. Notice that we're looking at a farmer here. And the next card is also a bit of a kind of a farmer in a way, like a gardening type situation. But it's basically about moving forward and planting seeds. Planting seeds for what you would like next. Depending on where you are along your path, you might be in this place where where this might be, you know, sort of pertinent to you to hear in this message. It could be for some of you that you've well accepted this, and now you've been working hard and you've planted some seeds. And so interesting that these two sort of come together in terms of farming and gardening. You know, it has to do with the earth and planting seeds for whatever project you would like to do next. So this one says you've invested wisely in your focus and your time and your efforts, and now just have patience for the harvest. Review your progress and make plans for your next endeavor. So have patience, have patience. It's like you've planted the seeds. Now what's next? What's next? What's next? That's where you want to keep your focus is on moving forward. Not back. This is back here. It's over here. It's done. So you want to be looking at moving forward. The next card that you get, two of them actually talking about celebrating, and these are both talking about celebrating sort of the harvest. It's like celebrating the harvest that will come to fruition from the seeds that you planted with, you know, planning and whatever you might have created. They're also They're also talking about the celebrating your ability to 100% stay focused on you and what you're wanting. So a part of this celebration is a celebration of you. It's celebrating you. It's like take a bow. So this card now has another meaning. It's like take a bow. You did well. You did very well. And in that situation now, we're going to have reason to celebrate with. We've got friendships. We've got maybe a new, wonderful, loving relationship, success, a beautiful harvest, all coming from staying focused on what you're wanting. What you're wanting, and taking the steps to plan what you'd like to create, actually taking those steps and creating it. So sort of step one is your state being that your focus is on you and what you'd like to create in the world. Number two, you know, sort of taking those steps, planting the seeds, and then, you know, waiting for the harvest. And when the harvest comes, it's like all kinds of reasons to celebrate. And then we also get this prosperity rising, prosperity coming from it, arising from the wise planning. Optimistic plans that turn out as expected. So we have two cards talking about plans that turn out as expected. So as you imagine and dream about what you'd like to create, you plant the seeds, and then look at this beautiful, beautiful garden. These are these beautiful flowers. And so Gabriel is coming in to say, you know, because of all that wise planning and planting seeds and taking action and focusing on what you are wanting to create, prosperity rising, great success, prosperity, optimistic plans that turn out as expected. In other words, this might have been your vision of it, and it will turn out the way you imagined. Just the beauty of the imagination of it, of what you imagined. Time to celebrate. Regarding relationships, a community of friends, a love interest, abundance. Because you've released yourself from this situation. By releasing yourself from that situation, time to celebrate. That's what's coming from the Archangel Tarot deck. And then I used the Wisdom of the Oracle, and the first card that came out was there's change in the wind. There's change in the wind, and this is referring to this and the whole overall reading. It's like this change is coming. If it hasn't come already, change is coming in terms of this ending. For those of you who maybe are still in this, it's about to end. Some of you may be feeling that, where you just know that you're this close, you're just this close to having this breakthrough. Don't hesitate to have a really good cry, or, you know, really just sort of celebrate, you know, taking a bow or doing something to celebrate the ending of it. this change in the wind. This card is also referring to this, once you plant your seeds and all kinds of things, start happening. And they're also saying, so depending on where you are, they're trying to reach as many Pisceans as possible. If you're still in this, know that this is coming. If it's ended, then congratulations, let it go. Like, seriously, let it go. Really catch yourself if you go back to thinking about it. It's done. For those of you who have done that, had experienced the finality of that, and have been planting seeds and celebrating and working, this is also referring to the success of your project and everything working out for you, where in the past maybe it wasn't working out for you for quite some time. And so this change is about where, for some of you, it may have been that things just were not working out for quite a while. And so it's easy to get our mindset in the habit of believing that things don't work out for me, right? We can create this belief that things don't work for me because it could be that they weren't working for quite some time. But there's a change in the wind. And now things are going to be working for you. Things will be working for you when you focus on yourself. You stay determined to focus on what it is you're wanting to create. That's kind of the key. He's top and center. Staying determined and focused on what you're wanting to create. That's key. Some of you have experienced that. You've created some things, and some beautiful things have already started to occur for you. This is also referring to the change in the wind that's coming up next, like over the next several months. This is also, they want to speak to sort of this next wave that's coming, this next sort of dial-up of the ascension process. There's another wave coming in that's gonna be changing things, and so it's exciting. It's really exciting. They wanted to speak to that. I did a reading this morning on sort of on this, what this next wave is about and how we can prepare for it, and sort of who it's directed to in a way, who it will affect the most. So you might want to check that out. Let's see. The next card that we got is by the book. These elephants are just going by the book. And what this is referring to is your plans. You have two cards here talking about making plans. Let's see. Where'd it go? Here it is. Your plans working out. Making plans. Making plans for your next endeavor, because this one worked out so well. You're really good at that. Everything worked out. And this is also saying, yep, things will work out for you in whatever you create. So what will you create next? And so this is referring to making plans. So they're sort of showing me, like an outline of what you'd like to create. Like, write it down. They're showing me a notebook and paper, and a pen, and writing out, okay, making a plan. And sort of an outline of what you'd like to create next by the book. Organized. Being organized about what you'd like to create next. That's what that's about. All right. And then we got this loyal heart jumped out. A loyal heart. This is also, okay. This is tapping into also this, and the wind's changing, wants to come back. The wind's changing. A loyal heart. What they're referring to is, for those of you who were in a past situation, in the past, way in the past now, or will be soon, with a person maybe who was not loyal. Maybe someone was not loyal, and maybe they weren't loyal for a long time. And so, again, just by habitual circumstances, and you observing that people aren't loyal, or this person is not loyal. Men aren't loyal. Women aren't loyal, you know, whatever your situation was. Bosses are not loyal. You can come up with these sort of belief systems around when something happens enough times, we might decide this is how life works, kind of thing. And they're saying, no, this change will also be affecting your relationships, whether it's romantic, friendships, work relationships, a boss. You have the sort of, you know, birthright, you know, you have a right to only surround yourself with loyal people. And what Spirit is saying is that by focusing on your, you know, wantings, if you want loyalty in relationships of all kinds, focus on that. Imagine what that would be like. Imagine what that looks like. And this change is going to be bringing that to you. That's what they're saying. Loyal hearts. People who are loyal. They also want to say that Spirit is always loyal. Spirit always has your back. Always, always. Life always has your back. Even when things are challenging, there's purpose in that. As we sometimes learn once it's over, kind of thing, it's easier to look back at it as an observer. Not out of doubts that it might come back, but okay, it happened. It's in your past. It happened. And so at some point you might observe it from an observer's perspective. We go, okay, that happened. There was a purpose for that. And sometimes we can see the purpose once it's over and once we're in a state ourselves where we're able to observe it without actually engaging emotionally back in and having self-doubts come up and things like that. And so they're saying loyalty comes from Spirit. It also comes from your own loyalty to yourself, being loyal to yourself. Yeah, this is the change that's coming, is your loyalty to your own passions and what you'd like to create. Yeah. Change is in the wind. And this is talking about exchanging gifts. That's the next card that you get, is about exchanging gifts. They're wanting to speak to giving and receiving. So it might have been for some of you in this past situation, there might have been a lot of giving on your part. Or it can go the other way, right? With energy and spirit and these readings, everything kind of can go the other way as well. Maybe you were receiving a whole bunch of negative things. I don't know. Maybe you were receiving, it was just the giving and receiving idea just being out of balance. So this is saying exchanging gifts. So it's interesting. It doesn't say share your gifts, which sometimes these readings will talk about sharing your gifts, right? This is about what are you going to create that's going to make the world a better place, planting your seeds, and what would you like to create for yourself. It will make the world a better place without your intention to actually change the whole wide world. If you are able to just focus on what you're creating and the passion that you feel in creating it, you affect the people around you just by the example that you're setting, is what they're saying. So exchanging gifts, but they're not saying just pure share your gifts. In other words, just give. Just give and give, just sharing your gifts. They're talking about exchange. There's an exchange. There might be a currency. There might be some bartering. There might be a trade of some kind. Make sure that okay. So for some of you, this situation may have brought on the understanding that it doesn't work for you to just give and give and give and give and give. That might be what the breakthrough was for some of you. And so they're kind of tapping into that with this, that, okay, now you're going to focus on sharing your gifts, but you're also going to focus on the exchange of them. So it's giving and receiving creates that balance that you want. You want balance in the exchange. Your final card is to imagine. And this is also coming up, you know, this was all of this, right? Everything you want to create, imagine it. How many times have I used the word imagine before the card even came out? This card was at the bottom of the reading that just sort of radiates out to the whole reading. Imagine. Yes, this is over. If not now, it will be very soon. It will be over. Imagine that that's over. It's in the past. Imagine what you'd like to create next. Look at this beautiful garden. Imagine it, and then that is what will manifest. Expect it. Plans, optimistic plans, positive plans, the ones that light you up, turn out as expected. Imagine that. Stay in this imagination of it. And then you're just going to have oodles of reasons to celebrate. Great reading, Pisces. Great reading. I know for me, I needed to hear this several times. So feel free to come back, and it's over. It's done. It's ended. Take a bow. You did a great job. Time to move on. Plant your seeds, make your plans. There's a change in the wind for what you're creating, and the loyalty in relationships that's available to you. Imagine it. It's possible. Anything's possible. Imagine, and then you just have great success. Great success. Success meaning happiness, fulfillment, joy.